How I repaired nose board damage. This is a friend that had a nasty boom hit on the front of his board, and I repaired it. This is just kind of fun slideshow. I didn't take video, but this may be helpful as far as what to show and what I did. So first I sanded up the area using a orbital sander. It's a different view on it. Next I put a bunch of masking tape for the Gorilla Glue. Then it starts to foam up more, a little bit more, and then this is fully cured, so it definitely foamed out, and I had this to keep it in check, so I had a good base. The cool thing about Gorilla Glue, it's really strong, it's waterproof, and it's a great filler for filling up small spaces or big spaces like this where I want to rebuild the nose. That's after sanding. This actually worked really well. As far as this repair, I'm super happy about this part. What I did is I took just a flat saw and sawed off the big parts. Then I used an orbital sander to get the majority of the shape right. And the orbital sander, it has a tendency to dig in if you're not careful. So I made sure there's extra, and then I started with, I think it was 40 grit, just a little bit, then 80 grit, then 120, just to help sand out this area and make it really smooth. But you can kind of see that the curve is the way it is naturally. Really good shape. So happy how that turned out. That's the front of it. Next I used a resin epoxy with low density filler just to kind of fill up all those big holes without it being a super heavy coat of resin. And here's the front of it. And sanded out. Used an orbital sander and then finished off with hand sanding. There's the front. And this is where I realized, well, wait a second, this area is all prepped for being repaired, and this is where his boom hits. And it's like, well, that definitely didn't hold, and this probably won't either. And this is the prime area. And it's like, it's not going to take me much longer just to go ahead and sand off this whole area. Another thing is, rather than just patching this area here, it's hard to get it smoothly placed, where if I do the whole nose, if I do different layers of carbon wrap, the idea is I can kind of blend the layers. So rather than 4 layers that are here, I can do here, 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 and just smooth it out so it won't be as obvious as far as the look of it. There's a different angle of the sanding I did to prep for having the whole nose reinforced. Oh, here we go. And these are the cuts I came up with. The 4 different cuts to fan out or spread the load. So at the very end here, it's only 1 layer of carbon, but then 2, 3, 4. So as the prime impact area has a lot of extra reinforcing to help prevent it from extra damage. Different angle of it. So this is after I have the resin epoxy down. This is a good step. You can use a roller or something else, but the idea is you need the laminate to be tight. So if there's 1 layer of carbon and another layer and it's separated with air bubbles, which is the worst, or just resin epoxy, the carbon fiber doesn't act as one and it's nowhere near as strong. And one way to do this is I cover it with wax paper with this. I actually tried for the first time using plastic wrap, and that works really well. It had to cling to it, and it didn't go back up. So it was able to make a really nice laminate without using a vacuum bag. And also with this, it's so compressed. Rather than just going straight to a vacuum bag, I think this worked just as good, if not better, because I was able to squeeze all the extra resin out and really put some time into making sure the laminate's tight and also lean, because I'm using 4 layers of carbon at the nose. So I don't want to add too much weight. So this is just going, just kind of squeezing out. Spend a little bit of time doing that. Make sure it's all ready to be for the next step. And here is cool. I used a thick masking tape, wrapped each one around, and I was able to get a lot of tension on the actual damaged area. So extra squeezing out, and on the bottom is where I kind of was the catch-all or the squeeze out. So I had areas here and there that were covered with masking tape. It kind of, the extra resin went onto the masking tape rather than just onto the board. So it had some place to go to make it a nice clean repair. And here's afterwards. Yeah, it looks really good. So So nice and clean. Did some sanding also. There's the front view. Here's after sanding. So the first coat I used red pigment with a little white, and it was a perfect match before sanding. I was like, this is great. It was almost perfect, maybe a hair light, but really happy with it. But the moment I sanded it, it really started to lighten up and it didn't look quite right. And yeah, so what I did is I sanded it all down and did it again. I did red, just straight up red, and this was too red. It was hard to see in this. Let's see if I got, yeah, there we go. You can see it's almost a little bit more orangey. Oh, excuse me. It's almost a little bit more orangey. Looks really good, but doesn't really match up. So then I sanded it down, and it looks a little bit more natural. It's not flawless. I need to improve on my final stage of glassing. I think spray paint is way easier for a nice smooth coat, but resin epoxy with pigment is going to be way stronger. It'll just handle a lot more impact than just rattle can spray paint. But it looks pretty good. There's a little bit right there that's miscolored, but generally speaking, it's a pretty good color match. There, you know, sand it down a little bit. Again, it's okay. Oh, there's my there's my M3. So yeah, happy with the repair. I do want to improve on the looks aspect of it. Very happy with the structural integrity. Another couple of things, a deck pad. He can do a boom protector pad. There's something goes on top of your boom that helps to slow the impact. Just a little bit of deceleration rather than instant deceleration helps to really absorb a lot of damage. So a lot of things he can do to make this damage not come back. But my hope is that it will work really well for a long time, and it'll take some hits without breaking apart. But yeah, if you like this content, like, subscribe, and share. I'd be happy to make more. This is the type of thing I like to record, but I just didn't get around to it. I just took photos. So sometimes, maybe if you don't mind the slideshow, let me know. It's like, hey, the slideshow is cool, because it definitely takes a lot less time to record, and especially when I'm doing the glassing and the resin, it's kind of complex to get the camcorder ready and to get the actual video. So it's so easy to take a couple of photos compared to doing the whole video, so I can get more repairs done. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Is this good, or would you way prefer the full video of actually me doing it in person? But yeah, thanks, and have a great day.